Steven Universe is alright. Let me open with the bad stuff since you've probably already heard it to death by now. There's inconsistent art, plain crappy art, sometimes characters act beyond stupid or even sociopathic without any real reason for doing so, and the episodes can be ordered in a strange emotional whiplash that just makes little thematic sense at all given the current events, whatever the series of episodes happens to be. They also have a weird release schedule with Cartoon Network and other apparent relationship issues with their parent corporation. Wait a minute. Steven Universe runs for like 10 minutes every, 6 months now with the whole hiatus issues and other such controversies, and it's clear that they don't even have the most open or possibly even healthy relationship with their superiors at the corporation. I don't think a lot of these issues are due to sheer incompetency or because the staff just somehow doesn't care. It seems reasonable that they really are caring, that they do want the show to succeed, they are doing their legitimate best that they can, just given the time, money, and bureaucratic nonsense restraints that the cast and, creators have to jump through. I feel like ripping the show based on all of that is kind of just mean, so stop that. Okay, the show is trying, alright? But then again, what do I know about being a corporate animator? Hell, I just got out of college. Why are you watching this video again? Alright, now that the obligatory is out of the way, Steven Universe really draws me into the show as due to its characterization. More often than not, the characters feel real. They are people that are doing things, they have interests and hobbies and beliefs that shift and change without any of the protagonists ever really having to be present on screen. And part of me actually wishes that this show really was just the Townie episodes with none of the extraterrestrial plot. Because, we already have tons of epic, awesome, crazy, massive quest shows. And honestly, that isn't what this show excels at. It always kind of just bothers me that people say, oh, I wish they wouldn't, they cut out all the filler, they don't have the Townies and stuff like that. But that's what they do best. Because if you actually look at the main plot, it's kind of weird and not as fleshed out as it should be. There are so many things that were kind of just left out in the open from season 1 and 2 that still have yet to be even touched upon in new episodes and probably won't ever be explained, even though they really should, and there's going to be other things along those lines that I'm going to discuss. But hell, half of the characters that should react to all of the magical stuff just don't. Why did people agree to even go to Garnet's wedding? That was a freaking safety hazard to everyone involved, and they're just accepting of this crazy, ludicrous crap that's just happening around them all the time. Okay, yeah, so this is towards the end of the story, these are more recent episodes, but seriously, no one ever actually asks into these things and the mechanics of why is everything so weird, except for Ronaldo, who asks as a joke. Alright, I just can't take it anymore. Let me get into what really bothers me about the show. The plot is weak, it just is, alright? Everything reeks of just random decisions and inconsistencies for the rule of cool, man. But without actually knowing what that phrase means. Why do no therapists exist in this world? Where are the cops? Why didn't the Diamonds just harvest the Earth colony after they were sure it was wiped out? There was literally nothing that would have stopped them from just completing that, whole plan of theirs in the first place. Why is Onion not a diamond? Why does Connie's mom operate on freaks of nature just on the regular? This is implied to be something that just happens. Why does Lion exist? Yeah, he's a resurrected dead animal, but why? Why did Rose pick this one creature and not, I don't know, why is there not a colony of pink animals just randomly walking the earth? And shouldn't Steven just be able to communicate with his mother directly or otherwise be able to access his little gem pocket dimension? Why was Russia bombed off the face of the earth? No, seriously, this is a world where the landmass we know as Russia actually doesn't even exist, and it's weird. Actually, it's so weird that I had a scrapped theory video idea about how this is actually a story set in a world where the Nazis won World War II because they didn't have to split their resources in 2 different ways, and that's why the reason, Beach City is so blatantly underfunded. It's because it's a refugee town for a bunch of non-Germans. But I didn't think that would have made for a funny video, because that's really what I'm aiming for. So, I just threw out the video idea. It didn't get made. Sorry. This sort of highlights my major gripe about the show, though, where there is all of this plot and world lore that can really be genuinely interesting, and it's often just not used, like, at all. Seriously though, could you even imagine the political and cultural differences in a world where that landmass just never even existed? The Mongol invasions would have been wildly different if their culture just didn't instead focus on being coastal fishermen, perhaps never having become the barbaric invaders that they ended up becoming. Or world trade routes would have been completely different, leading to different cultural mixes and nations. Both world wars would have had vastly different outcomes without one of its major players. The Cold War would have never happened, etc., etc. Also, the fact that alien monsters are attacking stuff on the daily, and it is heavily implied that the crystal gems have influenced every major religion and culture on the planet. Yet they don't know how to talk to a physician. Nice lady.
Bitch, I am literally your god!
It results in a massive narrative dissonance since the plot of an alien rebellion and the drama of day-to-day interactions just feel totally separate from each other, and one is obviously has more of its strengths aligned to it. And the show obviously focuses on the latter because really the plot isn't necessary just at all. The Diamonds could just be CEOs of a megacorporation that Steven's mom worked at but rebelled due to poor environmental practices, and he's kept from his father as part of a crazy legal scandal requiring him to be taken in by non-relatives who worked at the corporation. All the monsters are just other workers who are conflicted about the morality of the corporation and are literally cracking under the stress of day-to-day modernity. That would fit in so much more with the actual tone of the story of people struggling with interpersonal relationships and how to think about life. And we wouldn't have the issues of people just blatantly not asking about the weird crap that happens every day, of ancient goddesses that know nothing about how to function in daily society, at all. They have little experience in day-to-day matters or just basic social norms despite being thousands of years old and having interacted with these societies, apparently. Of Beach City not having an actual public services and economy, or okay, that last one wouldn't make no sense no matter what. Maybe Nazi refugee town, but maybe, I don't know. And the thing is, the plot honestly isn't that awful either, it's just not used right. Steven Universe could have been a really intelligent show, not just emotionally, but literally. Primarily in the vein of teaching people about history and maybe getting into the philosophical conundrums that an advanced immortal alien being would have. What was ancient India like? What's the Gem's opinion on Christopher Columbus's actions in the United States? Did they feel any regret about saving humanity given people and events like Genghis Khan's infamous conquest, the World Wars, nuclear weapons? Hey, also look at all those Hinduism and Buddhist things. What's it like being revered as literal gods? And ever thought of telling those people the truth about things? How did that go? Instead, we just get...
I don't get this cartoon, man.
I've followed the whole show, and I don't think it was ever explained why the Gems never got involved with the world, despite claiming to love it so much. They friggin' fence off their base of operations from all who come near. Yeah, I can see you love humans so much that you deport them the second they come onto your property. It's just... Ugh. Also, before anyone gives flack about how that would be too much for a kid to understand, we're already working on some I must scream levels of horror in the show, child soldier PTSD, mental disorders in general, also an on-screen lesbian,
Actually, they're gem aliens.
rock alien lesbian wedding, one of whom has the actual looks and mentality of a sunburned child. I think we're already working on enough levels of intense, weird, and cringiness to teach kids some basics about corporate legal structures and philosophies about war. Oh wait, no, we already have that last one too. I always ruin shows like this for myself because I do nitpick like this and I see a better show underneath the surface. What if Steven Universe actually connected these themes and ideas together? What if he was raised by actual goddesses of immeasurable experience who hide from the world for the mistakes that they made in trying to alter human history and behavior, and questioning whether they did the right thing at all in the first place? It'd make thousands of years of anxiety, depression, and confusion a bit more logical to the audience. But Steven Universe runs for 10 minutes an episode on whenever the heck Cartoon Network decides to release it. That kind of extra work just wasn't ever penned into the idea for the show, and it's ridiculous to think that they could have done that at any point in the process after the show had already begun to release. I just wish instead of trying to make all the alien magic stuff work, the creators would have had the foresight to see that they'd be known better for and try to double down on the fact that, of their characterization and interpersonal relationship stuff instead of trying to go for this grand, magical, shonen-ish adventure. What else? The color direction is friggin' amazing. I like all the music. I wish there were more musical shows. Hell, even musical movies. I feel like that's something that, I don't know, I miss that. It's nice. It's very feel-good. I want more of that. People complain about how the show has a political bend to it. Seriously, though, if that's something that you're worried about and are actually a parent with a child, you could, talk to your kid about life and provide context to the media that they consume, because let's not beat around the bush, they are and will continue to see some crazy crap that you will never know about. If your child grows up to marry a small lesbian space rock, that's kind of just on you, and you could have stopped this by sitting them down and talking about the sodiums and the chlorines. Yeah, that's about it and how I feel about the show. Sorry there's been no theories between me completing college, and there are now just being more answers than there are questions in the show, which is a good thing. Shows coming to an end are nice. We should want that more often. It allows for better storytelling, I think. But I'm out of college now and in the workforce, so we'll see how long I can keep up my presence back up and chatting with everybody here, because I really do like doing that. So, what do you think you'll be watching once SU is finally done, has its close, or at least is done being on Cartoon Network? I'd actually really like to know. In the meanwhile, there's going to be new videos from me at least once a week, at least for a solid month or two. I hope I can keep that up for a while. Going to have a far more active presence on social media, though, for Facebook and Instagram, maybe Twitter. I'm still thinking about that. I'll be shitposting up a storm 7 days a week because I don't know how to shut up about dumb things, as we all like to know. Again, I'm happy to be back, everybody, and can't wait to hear from all of you again. Have a good one.